a very big story that has been unfolding in the last few days and for which the government has been very heavily criticized, particularly the Income Tax Department, is to do with the angel tax. Should we axe the angel tax? There have been a lot of notices received by startups for angel funding received a couple of years ago. Suresh Prabhu, in fact, had promised to look into it, and here's the DIPP Secretary Ramesh Abhishek only on your channel breaking his silence.
Eligible for an exemption are still getting notices from the Income Tax Department. So what is the Commerce Ministry doing about that?
See, we have put in place a mechanism along with the Income Tax Department that Interministerial Board will exempt startups when they apply, when they are eligible. So far 94 startups have been recommended and have been approved for exemption under the various sections of Income Tax Act. We have been waiting for more startups and people to apply since April. I think once they apply to us, we will be able to take a view and that relief can come. That is the mechanism that we have set up. We have seen news reports that many people have received notices. We would like to have more details of what kind of notices these are. We have requested the Revenue Department also to look into it. So it's a work in progress.
So some people are saying that even though they have registered not after April, but even if before that, they've still got notices.
See, the registration with DIPP is as per the eligibility criteria, up to 7 years and 25 crore turnover and all that. That doesn't qualify any startup to get exempted from any provision of the Income Tax Act. To get exemption, there is a separate mechanism of an interministerial board. So 94 startups have been exempted so far. Because 14,000 plus startups have registered, they don't get exempted just because they are registered as startup.
And sir, another important thing which you mentioned, that only 2 startups have registered since the revision of norms in April. Any specific reason you think is holding the startups back?
We have not received any feedback that there is any particular reason why people are not able to apply. But if we get any feedback, we are always amenable to making corrections, changes. We have always been flexible. We want to support the startups, the entire ecosystem. So whenever we get feedback, we'll definitely act on it.
So my last few questions. Sir, we are hearing that e-commerce policy is now under the ambit of DIPP. This comes after reports that e-commerce policy has been shelved. So, sir, is the department working on it? By when can we expect the draft to be out? And what are the key considerations?
We are in the process of drafting the e-commerce policy. It is now within our mandate now, and we don't have any timeline, but we are working on it.
And sir, one last question. When can we expect industrial policy to be finally cleared?
See, we have submitted the industrial policy draft for consideration of the cabinet. So it has been sent very recently. Then obviously it will take some time. I don't have any timeline in mind.
Thank you so much, sir.
Well, that's my colleague Parisha Tyagi in an exclusive conversation with the Secretary of the DIPP, Ramesh Abhishek, on a whole host of issues hogging the limelight. I said that it's work in progress when it comes to the notices sent by the Tax Department to startups with respect to angel funding received a few years ago. E-commerce policy also has the startup universe, consumers spooked. It's within his mandate. He's working on that policy. Industrial policy should also be taken up by the cabinet quite soon. But the big headline, of course, coming with the angel tax, work in progress in coordination with the Revenue Department. It'll be interesting to see how this one pans out and how confidence is restored when it comes to the startup universe.